Sup bitches? Can I beat Borderlands the pre-sequel without taking any damage? And by that I mean I used a shield the entire game and let that take the damage for me. And if you're complaining about this, please send all your complaints to... Because in my logic, if you're about to get shot by a magical MacGuffin stops you from getting shot, you didn't get shot. Here are the rules. 1. If I take any damage, then I must save quit and redo the entire area up to that point, because funny. 2. I'm not allowed badass rank, because I've seen other YouTubers make a big deal about it, so I feel like I have to. I turned it off halfway because I literally never spend the points. 3. No legendaries allowed, because why not add more pain by having to pass up a legendary? 4. Falling doesn't count, because I can't be asked to be good at not falling, leave me be. And rule number 5. My shield cannot be bigger than my HP. Ignoring a skill we have because I couldn't be asked to turn it off. I feel it makes me too overpowered, and I hate myself a bunch. So I started my run by picking Claptrap. Did I want to play Claptrap? No, fucking course didn't. Who the fuck wants to play Claptrap? But because normal people suffocate and Claptrap doesn't, he quite literally is the only Vault Hunter I can play. I sure do hope this isn't gonna bite me in the ass. And oh look, it's already biting me in the ass. So Claptrap begins the game with a shitty SMG and a shitty pistol, meaning that hitting the enemy is like me streaming anytime soon. Millions to one. So my options are either to sit back and just pray to whatever forces are out there for me to hit something, or for me to run over and hope I do enough damage before they kill me instead. And considering this following section took me nearly an hour and a half, yeah, this shit was annoying, but I did it. Don't ask me how Jack survived getting kicked the shit out for that long though. I always got an ass of steel. Anyway, at this point my lawyer says I have to give an accurate law summary, so here we go. So the Doll Corporation is after Handsome Jack and the Hyperion Corporation because Jack accidentally leaked nuclear launch codes through the business email to everyone. So our mission is to stop Doll, and I'm not even going to bother pronouncing that, from killing Jack by deleting the accidentally spread nuclear information, and we can all live happily ever after, unless your name is Flame Knuckle. Because after a couple of attempts where he absolutely destroyed me, Jack was able to distract him so I could kill him no sweat. And now on the moon. So we're tasked to get an oxygen kit as if it was spitting me with the fact that I was forced to play Claptrap. I should probably explain why Claptrap is so terrible. Essentially, each character in Borderlands the pre-sequel has their own skill, be it the ability to have a drone, a shield, or even just an aimbot. But Claptrap gets chosen a random assortment of mediocre to downright terrible skills. And trust me, if you think the skill where it forces you into melee is bad, just wait. After this, I did a quick side mission, so I have a pretty okay sniper, so now all I have to do is sit back and just clip on some heads. That wasn't until Janie asked me to toaster bath myself, which for some reason I just accepted and didn't question.
Kill yourself now. You should kill yourself now. And your life for now. And you some zero.
Then we go to deadlift. Yeah, this wasn't hard at all. Ignoring the part where Badass spawned right next to me, I was able to just hide and deal damage. The only other time I died in this chapter was because I realized car damage was in red, so that counts. So that was fun. At this point, we go to Rip Off Sanctuary to talk to the mayor in order to delete Jack's launch codes. The problem was that he wasn't there, so we have to go to another area in order to sort it out. Not before getting scanned, which resulted in me taking damage. So I'm probably the only person who can safely say she died in this area, which is very cool. And then we reach this area with more Australians for me to fight. So we're going back from easy enough missions to now taking me hours to beat. First we have to do some driving for another Claptrap who fails to realize how I'm his superior. However, because we're driving, we're now exposed to taking damage. And then we kill Darksiders who can bear were able to hit me. But the entrance was pretty easy. Christ, Scar wasn't. Christ-pissing Scar. The overall section was easy. Take your time, trick scope some enemies. However, for some reason, while I was drop reloading, my fucking sniper fell into the void. So while I went back to Moon Sanctuary, I kept getting hit with the joys of driving. Eventually, I was able to make it to Red Belly, only for them to have a fire weapon that killed me instantly. So I tried again using a camping spot, which had the toilet-headed fuck running after me. So I did it again with the exact same strategy, and this time it worked. So go to hack into the mainframe to delete Jack's launch codes, however, yeah, I got shot again. Whatever, turns out the mayor leaked them online, so we kind of let him know how we felt about that decision. Don't look at me, I'm only here for the ride. So now Jack more or less gives up at this point, so now we have to go steal this weirdo's AI girlfriend so that Jack can have his own. Why the hell didn't he ask this of me? I'm kinda hurt. But we now have to go through Jesus fucking Christ, this section was rough. Sure, you can blame a lot of these deaths on me, but not only is this map like 5 times the size of the previous, but I'm gonna introduce you to the grenade skill, where Claptrap randomly starts throwing 50 grenades, and God forbid you're taking cover, or you're in a cramped environment, because you're sure as hell gonna get yourself killed because the game wanted to troll. And I don't know why, but this skill was beginning to feel the most common, and that gun in my hand was beginning to look more and more tempting. This isn't helping. Anyway, Asmongold wasn't hard, probably because I'm way higher leveled than him, but whatever, I don't care. We're able to steal his girlfriend and beat the chapter. Alright, so now we go to an abandoned factory, so we can make Jack's AI girlfriend more attractive for him. Jack, I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess. At this point, deaths being around the 20 mark was beginning to become the new norm. I'll die, get impatient, whatever, it doesn't bother me anymore. What does bother me though is this stupid turret section where you have to make these shitty AI turrets kill these guys, only for me to die after reaching the last one. Also, don't ask me why Jack wants turrets on his fuck machine. I guess he wants the danger of potentially losing his balls to a toaster. However, the AI found out what she was going to be used for, so we have to kill her so that no one would ever know this happened. Just like every other boss fight so far, this was piss easy. At this point, we can now go to Helios. Don't ask me why now, but whatever. Also, if you see me increased and you are now accusing me of cheating, I found Darksiders and my recording stopped because I ran out of space. Just accept it. At this point, the run itself was just being more and more the same. I stepped back dealing damage, occasionally died, blah blah blah. I went up to a claptrap to open a door because apparently I'm not good enough to do it myself. And at this point, all I had to do was just not have a skill issue, including the part where I went into research and development and did it all first try. The only threat was Borderlands humor.
Can I have my teddy bear? It calms me down.
Deserved. However, all good things must come to an end, because the next chapter had one fucking room that was the bane of my existence. Because simply walking over a trigger would spawn 3 guys behind me, annihilating my health. And then I just found out you can avoid that path and they won't spawn. In fact, at this point, the only threat was just having to do it all again. But I was just beginning to get a hang of everything we had to do. So, finally Zarpedon wanted to duel Jack to see who could get hold of the nuclear launch codes, meaning we'd have to fight her in a boss. Yeah, this one's game wasn't that bad. Her first phase went down fairly easily, and even though I got hit shortly after, the game felt sorry for me, so skipped to a second phase, where I just hit, so she kept trying to deal damage. So, take that, bitch. Oh, someone finally triggered them. Fuck it, let's try to vault while we're at it. At this point, we were more or less home free. Look at all the characters saying goodbye like it's Undertale. But of course, it wouldn't be that simple. First, we had a flying guy who wasn't hard apart from the time he'd deal damage after I already killed him. And then the final area was a real gauntlet. You had this bit where you have to kill a shit ton of enemies, but even the hide away like a coward strategy didn't work because these guys could just open the door. And then there was moments where you'd fight a ton of guys with 0 cover, an annoying section I found out how to skip, then 2 long hallways back to back with a ton of enemies. So beating all of these in a row was kind of stressful. Nevertheless, after beating like 50 guys who all wanted their turn on the turret, we were finally able to reach the final level. It was all Guardians, so it was quite literally the easiest shit. And the final boss wasn't that hard, so I just needed to learn how to jump. So like, seriously, the second phase only took me so long because I was taking my sweet ass time not wanting to make stupid mistakes. And I did it. Jack sat down only to be exposed to a massive hard drive of porn before Lilith came out of nowhere with no November. And I beat Borderlands the pre-sequel without taking any damage. This was hard, tedious, annoying, so chances are I'm gonna do this for the game that people actually like this time, so join me then. Remember to like, comment, subscribe while I insult your mum's cooking. Bread.